Hi guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to play chess, or more specifically, how the pieces move. The only things you're going to need for this video are an 8x8 chessboard and 32 chess pieces, 16 for black and 16 for white. So before we get into how the pieces move, I need to show you how to set up the chessboard. Most chess sets that you buy will have the letters A to H along the horizontal sides and 1 to 8 on the vertical sides. Unfortunately, this chessboard does not, but we'll have to work with it. To set up a chessboard properly, you'll need to make sure there is a white square in the bottom right and top left hand corners of the board. So this square should be white. So, the first piece we're going to look at today is the pawn. The pawn is the most common piece on the chessboard, with 8 on each side. They are located on the 2nd and 7th ranks, and take up the whole row, like this. Now as for how the pawn moves, it is very simple. If the pawn is on its starting place, so here, it can move 2 spaces forward, but it does not have to. So on your first move, the pawn can move either here or here. After the pawn has moved from its starting position, whether that is 1 or 2 spaces in front, it can only move 1 space at a time. Remember, it could have moved 1 space on its first move. As for how it takes or eats, the pawn may take pieces 1 diagonal space away from it, like this. Pawns may not take straight ahead and may not move diagonally. Okay, so the next piece we're going to look at is the knight or the horse. There are 2 knights for each side, and they are located on the 2nd space from the edge, on the first row of both sides. So B1, G1, B8, and G8. There are 2 knights on each side, and they are located on the 2nd space from the edge, on the first row of both sides. So B1, G1, B8, and G8. The knight moves in an L shape in any direction. First it moves 1 space in any direction. Don't worry if there is a piece there for now, it is not finished moving yet. After the first move, the knight can then move 2 spaces, left or right, from where it is facing. So if you move it 1 space up, then you can move it another 2 spaces to the left or right. And if you move it 1 space left or right, then you can move it another 2 spaces up or down. Now the knight cannot land on the space with a piece of its colour already on it, but it may land on the space occupied by an enemy piece. If it does land on the space with an enemy piece, it captures that piece. Unlike other pieces, the knight can jump over as many pieces as you want, allied or enemy. Now I know the knight seems a bit complicated, but as long as you remember that it moves in an L shape, you should be okay. Okay, so the next piece we're going to look at today is the bishop. Once again, there are 2 bishops for each side, and they are located on the 3rd space from the side on the first row, next to the knight. So on F1, C1, F8, and C8. Now the bishop cannot jump over pieces like the knight, but it can move as many spaces as you want, as long as it is not obstructed by a piece. So for example, a bishop here could move here or all the way up here, but it could not move past the pawn right here. The bishop takes in the same way as it moves, diagonally. So if there was an enemy pawn here, it could take that, but it would not be able to keep moving after that. The golden rule to remember when it comes to bishops is that they can only ever stay on the colour that they started on. For example, for a bishop that starts here, it could move around the board on the black squares throughout the game, but it can never cross onto the white squares. On to the next piece, which is the rook, or castle. There are 2 rooks for each side, and they are located on all 4 corners of the board, on H1, A1, H8, and A8. The rook moves very simply. It can move horizontally or vertically as many spaces as you want, as long as there is no piece obstructing it. So if the rook was on A1 here, it can move to any space from A1 all the way up to H8 here, and in the same way any space from A1 to A8 over here. And the rook takes in the same way that it moves. So if there was an enemy pawn on A6, the rook could take that, because it would only be moving vertically. And obviously it cannot move more than one direction in one move like this, because then it could go anywhere on the board. Okay, so on to the second last and most powerful piece on the chessboard now, the queen. Each side has 1 queen, and they are located next to the bishop and the king on the back row. So, over here for black, and over there for white. The important thing to remember when setting up the queen is that it should always be on the same colored square that you are playing. So if you're playing black, it should always be on the black square, like here. And in the same way, if you're white, it should be on a white square, like that. The reason the queen is the most powerful piece is that it can move in any direction, forward, back, horizontally or vertically, as many spaces as you want in one turn. So if the queen was here, it could move to any of these spaces. And the queen takes in the same way it moves. So assuming you're still on d4, it could take any one of these pawns in one move. Just not all of them at once, of course. Okay, so we're up to the last piece now, the king. The king is of course located on the only space left on the back row for each side, next to the bishop and queen. So d1 for black and d8 for white. And unlike the queen, the king will be on a square the opposite color of its owner. So the black king is on a white square, and the white king is on a black square. The king can move like the queen in any direction, however it cannot move more than 1 square in that direction, like the queen can. So if the king was here, it could move here, 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 and here, and it can take in the same manner. Okay, so now you should know how all of the pieces on the chessboard move. If you missed one of them, or simply want to revisit one, there are links to all of the pieces on the left hand side. Now unfortunately I did not have time to go over some of the more advanced rules of chess in this video, like check and castling, but you can find detailed descriptions of the full rules of chess on these videos down below. I've been playing chess for 10 years, and I find it a very strategic and engaging game, so I highly recommend you give it a try. If you are interested in chess and want a website where you can play against thousands of real-life opponents, I suggest chess.com, which is linked below. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful, and I hope it ignites a passion for chess in you. Bye.